Okay, so I'll call the Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting to order. First item is a roll call. Nelson here. Michael Payne.
Here.
Steve Huchek.
Here.
And Kevin Football.
Here.
Since Sue is not here, I'll have Kevin sit for Sue tonight. And the first item on business is we have two public hearings. First public hearing is Rega A 240002 group child care home. And no, it's not the home, it's noisy. And the noise regulation change. Would you read the legal ad?
Is the fresh one? I try to check.
For 0002.
Doesn't say it.
You have it or?
Oh, I have both, but the first one.
Yes, group childcare.
There it is.
Yep.
Yeah. And with your permission, this spells out the website, and I'm just.
Oh, I don't think you need.
I'm going to be
do
paraphrasing
just-
that. I'll give it actually somewhere in between. I'm paraphrasing. The notice is hereby given that the following public hearing will be held on Tuesday, June 11th, 2024 at 7 p.m. in the Community Room 2, Town Hall Annex 134, Groton, Long Point Road, and virtually via the Zoom platform to hear the following. Zoning Regulation Amendment REGA 24-0002 text amendment to amend section 5.1-4.c group childcare home and section 7.4-3.I noise. Town of Groton Planning and Zoning Commission applicant. A Zoom meeting link will be posted to the town's website meeting calendar. Applications are on file and available for public inspection during normal business hours at the Planning Department 134 Groton Long Point Road, Groton, Connecticut 06340, and at the office of the Groton Town Clerk 45 Fort Hill Road, Groton, Connecticut. Proposed draft zoning regulations can also be viewed on the town website. All persons having interest in the application are invited to attend, comment, and provide testimony and evidence dated this 31st day of May 2024 in Groton, Connecticut.
And so the process we'll have tonight is we'll hear from the staff report and then open it up to public if they have anything to state, and then to the commission for their comments or questions. And if necessary, we'll cycle it around until any open questions are decided on. So if the staff will make their presentation on the proposed regulation change.
Great, thank you very much. So as noted in the legal ad, this application is for two separate sections of the zoning regulations. The first one being group childcare home, and the second one is an amendment to the noise section. So I'll go over each of those for you. So with regards to the group childcare home, the state passed Public Act 23-142, which requires towns treat licensed group childcare and family daycare facilities located in a residence basically to be treated the same as a single family or multifamily dwelling. The purpose was to make it easier to open daycares. Towns cannot prohibit their operation in a residential zone, and they cannot require a special permit for the operation of these facilities. So just for reference, a family daycare is a daycare that has 1 to 6 children. Currently, they're permitted in Groton with no conditions. A group child care facility has 7 to 12 children in it, and currently those are conditionally allowed. So the proposed change will allow group child care home in residential dwellings, in residential zones, without conditions or special permits. The second amendment is with regards to noise. This amendment will make the town's noise standards consistent with state regulations. The current regulations have standards based on the time of day without regard to what the land use is. The state regulations have standards that are based on different types of land uses and their proximity to other types of land uses. This change was actually proposed during the development of the data center regulations. However, the change was not properly advertised, and so it was not adopted at that time. The required referrals for regulation amendments were made for both of these sections. In your packet, you received the letter from the Council of Governments. They found that there was no intermunicipal impact as a result of these. And just today you were forwarded the DEEP comments, who found it consistent with the Coastal Management Act. If you decide to adopt this regulation, we're recommending that the effective date be July 15, 2024, to give us time to get it into the document and down to the clerk's office. Thank you.
Does anyone in the public wish to address the commission on this item? And we have no hands raised.
Right. If anyone online wishes to address the commission, you do need to raise your hand to be recognized. Nope.
So then I'll open it up to the commission. Any comments they have? I'll start with you.
No comments.
Mike?
I do not have any comments.
Steve?
Just a question about the noise.
Yep.
Can you just summarize? Because we did not adopt the time.
That's
No,
correct.
no.
We made reference to the state regulations.
Yes.
So there's state law that actually allows state departments to promulgate regulations. So these are DEEP regulations. And what they do is they have three categories of uses, essentially residential, the second being like offices, and then the third being industrial. And those regulations set different decibel levels for industrial uses next to residential uses, or commercial uses next to residential uses. So it's, it gives it's a bit more fine-tuned than our regulations, which doesn't say anything about the land uses. It just says between, 7 and 10, you can't exceed this decibel level.
Thank you.
Sure.
I have no other comment.
Kevin?
I just had one question to staff. So did this come up as an issue because of a pending childcare application? Or is it that it is, again, the process that we've always been going through to ensure that we are in alignment and compliance?
So are you asking about the noise section or the childcare section?
Sorry, the childcare.
Thank you. Yes, actually, we're required to update our regulations to make it consistent with state statute. The town manager actually had to report to the state as of December 31st, whether or not the town was in compliance with this. And if not, what was the date that we would become in compliance?
Got it.
So-
That's all. That's great clarification. Thank you.
Yeah, and I have no comments or questions on this. So if no one has anything, and make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Is there a second? Moved and second. Any discussion on the motion? And none, we'll vote on the motion to close the public hearing. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion is carried unanimously. Okay, the next public hearing is spec 240003 accessory drive through facility for proposed restaurant 350 Longton Road. This is for special permit. So if this process will be slightly different, and then we'll have the applicant make a presentation first and then go to the town staff for their overview, and then to the commission after hearing from the public. So if the applicant,
Read the notice.
oh, yes, first we have to do this. That's right.
Notice is hereby given that the following public hearing will be held June 11th, 2024 at 7 p.m. in Community Room 2, Town Hall Annex 134, Groton, Long Point Road, and virtually via the Zoom platform to hear the following: special permit 240003, 350 Long Hill Road, EIN 16892091076 CN zone. Proposal is to allow an accessory drive-through facility for proposed restaurant. Review is per section 5.1-1.c of the zoning regulations. Nicholas Alidu, 350 LHR LLC owner. Tyler Risatelli,
Yes, Cap.
BL Companies applicant. A Zoom link will be posted to the town's website meeting calendar. Applications are on file and available for public inspection during normal business hours at the Planning Department, 134 Groton Long Point Road, Groton, Connecticut, dated this 31st day of May 2024 at Groton, Connecticut.
Okay. If the applicant will start over his presentation, and this is just for the special permit site plan.
That's correct.
approval Follows.
For the record, Kevin Hickson with BL Companies, Senior Project Manager, address 355 Research Parkway, Meriden, Connecticut. And let's get my glasses on. So tonight we have a 1.75 acre site. It's the, as you can see on the map here, it's the existing Applebee's. This existing site has one entrance up on Culver Avenue. Actually, can I take this?
Yes, sure. Yeah, of course. Yep.
All right.
Or you can use this one here.
Might be better to point it out. So the entrance is right here on the eastern side of the site, southeastern side, which would be Culver Avenue, and it grabs an existing signal here that's 225 feet away, which is the intersection of Route 1, Long Hill Road, and Culver Avenue. So that's the existing access for this restaurant. It has 125 existing parking spaces in this current configuration that we have here. And again, it's 1.751 acres for this property. And all of the, just so I can point it out here, this existing building footprint will remain in proposed condition. And the storm drainage is actually only treating less than half of it is actually being treated currently in its state right now. There is a hydrodynamic separator that treats basically this eastern half of the site, and then the western half goes untreated, but it does have an underground detention system with its eventual discharge to catch basin out on Culver Avenue. This next plan is the demolition plan of what the extent of work is going to be. Primarily, it's happening on the north side of the site with some improvements along here for the sidewalk. There will be some trees that will be saved, but some trees have to be removed in order to put in, for instance, this sidewalk over here that's on the south side of the site. And then to put in the drive-through lane for this establishment for the coffee shop with the demising wall with the medical office building. This area here that's on the north side of the site would have the majority of the disturbance for the site. This next sheet is the land disturbance exhibit. It's 0.41 acres. We're below the 50% threshold for that. We're at 23.6% for this site, but this is a graphic that kind of shows you with the gray of where the improvements have actually happened with the additional street trees along the frontage of Long Hill Road, and then obviously a street tree over here by Culver Avenue. This next plan is more of a color representation to show the extents in its final stage with this development. The grays obviously where the reconfiguration, the restriping of the spaces, again, going from 125 spaces to 72 spaces. We're reducing the impervious area to the amount of the existing site impervious area is at 71% at 54,220 square feet. And then the proposed site impervious area, as you see here, is reduced to 61% at 46,898, which is a 6,920 impervious reduction from its existing state. The limit of this, the building coverage is 6.5%, and then the pavement repair and replacement is about 7,629 square feet. So still have the same entrance on Culver Avenue. They'll still have the existing signal that's here at Long Hill Road and Culver Avenue. We are showing them the majority of the reconfigured parking. And then obviously the bypass lane, which is on the far north side of the site, that'll remain. And then a dedicated drive-through lane that comes in for the pickup window for the coffee shop. That's at 2,866 square feet. And then adjacent to that on the south side is the healthcare tenant, which is 2,191 square feet. We are showing on this plan here, matched up with the adjacent landowner here, a driveway access. The whole point of giving access to the adjacent landowner that's to the north to gain access through our site to the signal that's on Route 1. Their plans do show full access on Route 1, but this provides, as was their approved plans, I think it was 3 years ago, that will provide this access here. You can see this larger green area here is where we've reduced that parking on the existing site. So we provided some additional trees along there. We've also provided the ADA spaces to be ADA compliant for the site with accessible route to both businesses and establishments that are on the frontage of Route 1. This is more of a black and white, a little too busy to be talking about right now. So we provided, in context with the access, we have provided a vehicle turning plan. As you can see here, the vehicle would enter in through the bypass lane and then come in toward the rear of the adjacent development and their proposed development, and then exit. We've done the worst case scenario where the vehicle can actually still make this maneuver and make its way out the bypass lane, come to a stop sign, and then proceed to go out on the Culver Avenue entrance to the signal. So again, this provides that opportunity for the adjacent development to gain access to the signal. As I mentioned about the stormwater drainage, you can see some additional new stormwater piping, a new hydrodynamic separator to treat essentially this area here, for the development, and providing that will actually meet our requirements of the treatment of the stormwater of this, plus the reduction of the impervious area is actually helping enhance the stormwater quality in its proposed development. This is actually connected to an existing underground detention system that we inspected in the wintertime. It looked to be in good shape. We would, obviously there's an operation and maintenance with everything that you have with catch basins and underground detention system. So we would look to do the same for this site. And in terms of the existing detention system, it's a 4 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot concrete galley, open bottoms with 2 foot of stone around it. It's designed for the 25-year storm. And again, as mentioned before, it does outlet the high outlet overflow to the Culver Avenue storm system. The roof drains would all be connected to the existing catch basin number 6 on the north side of the site. And there are no wetlands on the site. There is an upland review area shown here, which is on the site, which is comprised of 2,894 square feet. And upland review area altered is 2,671 feet. And then again, as mentioned, the reduction of the impervious area from existing to proposed. This next plan is the erosion control and sediment. For during construction, we provided stockpile areas with silt fence, silt sacks between the frame and grade of the existing catch basins and the proposed catch basins, as well as a anti-tracking apron, where the majority of the work will be on the north side. So we're being cognizant of that so that we get the tracking within our site, so we don't track anything out onto Culver Avenue and Route 1. We would obviously have a kickoff meeting with the town in terms of inspections and all that for this site. So we would, I think we have that in our notes as well in these plan sets. We have the landscaping plan, as you see here. We have 20 existing trees that are there now. Trees that we're going to be adding are 8. Total proposed trees in total is, I believe, going to be 26 because there's 2 that have to be removed. So the net is 26 trees that would be added. And those species are actually shown on here to be, oh man, I can't read this upside down. Be comprised of red maple, Japanese zelkova, and then some shrubs to be interspersed with the shamrock inkberry hollies. We have the photometric lighting plan that we did. We're adding actually 1 proposed pole at 19 feet. I'll have a full cutoff, and there are existing site lights that are on here as well, which I believe are at, I think they're at 29 feet, I believe. Yes, 29 feet. And so we ran the photometrics with the existing poles and the proposed one. We're cognizant of and receptive to put in full cutoffs on the 29-foot poles that we have here. And so we meet the requirements that are here as far as any light trespass. This one right here, this is a light pole that's at the north side, which, as you can see, it was at the existing parking spaces. And, you know, right now we're just keeping it where it is. And we've done the photometrics, which will have some additional wall tops that'll be added on the north and the south and the west side of the building. This next plan is the architecture elevations for this plan. This will be the front. This west elevation here will be the front. This will be the coffee shop and the healthcare facility. You know, we would be providing a aluminum rooftop screening for the HVAC equipment. And we have a combination of facade in colors and the color palette here to be throughout here. Nick Aletto from Wood Construction is here. So if you have more specific questions about the building and the architecture, he could certainly address those at this time. And we also provided a floor plan with a demising wall. This is the front of the building here with the 2 entrances. And then there's a demising wall that separates the healthcare facility with the coffee shop. And here's the drive-through window that's right here. So I don't know if the commission has any questions at this time.
Of that, after we get input from the public. And
Okay.
and the staff.
You want to leave it at this or the site plan?
Do you want to actually move it back to the drive-through? Just because that's the part of the public
Yeah.
hearing that we're talking about right now?
Yeah.
Okay,
Special permits.
Gotcha. so the drive-through. As I mentioned, the drive-through starts down at the northeast corner of the site. This is where the bypass lane and the drive-through lane occur. We have an 18-foot bypass lane and then a 12-foot drive-through lane. That's how we've designated this. We have a 14-car stack for this in this configuration. And again, there'll be a drive-through window that'll get put on as a building modification for this. And then as you proceed past the window, there'll be a stop bar with 2 stop signs on either side. And then for exit, they would leave, go out Culver Avenue and go out onto Long Hill Road at the lighted intersection. There is just so the commission's aware, there is an outdoor patio area that we're showing here at the front and just to the north of the entrance with a coffee shop.
So that's it. So I'll open up this staff things. They have any comments? They have
Yes.
a presentation.
Okay, thank you. So again, the public hearing for the special permit is specifically to allow for an accessory drive-through facility for a proposed restaurant located in the CN zone. The CN zone, the commercial neighborhood zone is subject to several conditions, of which were just mentioned there in terms of the number and size of stacking lanes, as well as traffic and pedestrian circulation. In terms of legal notice, obviously the legal notice has been posted as required. The required certificates of mailing are all in order. There was one communications that we got an email yesterday that I think you all received today from Shannon from Michael Cole. So I hope you all saw that today. And just a few other things in terms of timing wise. As part of this public hearing, the Planning and Zoning Commission have 35 days until you must close the hearing. So that would have to be by the July 9th meeting. Decision must be made within 65 days of closing the public hearing. This application complies with section 5.1-1.c drive-through facilities in the CN zone. And also meets the special permit criteria in section 9.4-6 of the zoning regs. The proposed use will not have any detrimental effects upon public health, safety, and welfare. And I know you forwarded a draft motion when we get to that point, so.
Okay. Does anyone in the public wish to address the commission on this? Yes, if you'd step up.
Are we asking questions or making comments?
You cannot ask questions, you can just make comments.
So I mentioned questions.
Hmm.
My name's Tom Farrell.
Would you speak into the microphone, so you have to record it,
Right.
that you can pull out of the.
Can you hear me okay this way? Think that's okay.
Yeah, I think so.
My name's Tom O'Farrell. I live at 34 Brookhaven Road. I'm here. I'm not opposed to a healthcare facility or a coffee shop, otherwise known as Starbucks. But I'm completely opposed to a drive-through, and a few reasons why. Noise pollution. There's a Starbucks down the road that opens at 4:30 in the morning, 6 or 7 days a week, and is open till 8 o'clock. My house is about 100 feet from the entrance to this. We bought the house 17 years ago and realized that there would be noise with Applebee's nearby. But Applebee's is open from 4 to 9. That's their busy time. They're not open 16 hours a day, 15 and a half. And there's no ordering board, which is one of my bigger concerns. Another issue I have with this is the amount of traffic. If you look at the traffic study, it shows 3 times the amount of estimated gross trips than Applebee's has. That's not including the newly revised statement about the cut through to the neighboring property, which is obviously meant to drive more traffic in here with the one entrance and exit. That's it, just one. There's some fancy math involved in the study about pass by and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, there's 800 cars going in that driveway a day and leaving, 1,600 total. There's a school bus stop 20 feet from that driveway for all the kids in the neighborhood. One of the things I like to bring up, because we always hear about the, you know, this proposal meets this, it meets this special use, it meets all these regulations. What's interesting is you never talk about the zoning regulation. The zoning regulation, if I read it, says the CN district is meant to accommodate lighter neighborhood serving retail and nodes or gateways that can serve as a smooth transition between commercial and residential uses. I don't think 1,600 trips a day is light. I don't think it's neighborhood serving when you go a mile in either direction and go to Starbucks. And it's absolutely not a smooth transition. Right across the street is 17 Brookshaven residential. Right across the street and near the end is 34 Brookshaven, my house, residential. It also says it may include 1-unit dwellings, although 2-unit and multi-unit dwellings are preferred in order to support commercial uses and serve as a buffer to neighboring residential districts. It's not a buffer. High quality human scale design, an emphasis, and this is my favorite, pedestrian connections and green space is desired for development in this district. And again, it's meant to play a transitional role between commercial and residential uses. There's nothing about a business that its intent is to draw as much traffic as possible that fits a pedestrian or green space desired development. So I guess my big question is, will the commission abide by their own zoning regulations? Thank you for your time.
Is anyone else in the public wish? Yes.
My name is Kelly Milton. I live at 35 Brookshaven Road. My husband and I also own 121 Brookshaven, which is around the corner. We live right across the street from Tom, and our house faces current Applebee's or this new plan. I'm not opposed to the coffee shop or the health services. That's great. However, I am opposed to not considering widening that road. There's one way in, 2 ways out. You can make a left or right to get out of Culver Avenue onto Route 12. And what's also not been stated here today, and I don't know that it should have been, but on the opposite corner, right across at 388 Long Hill Road, there is being consideration for a gas station and a convenience store. So you add the gas station convenience store to this Starbucks, and you've got more than 3 times the traffic. So more than 800 more cars are coming through, but there's going to be a driveway for that convenience store on the right-hand side. So traffic coming in and out, school buses already have difficulty going in and out. My granddaughters get on the school bus. They're in elementary school. They get on the school bus right at the corner of Culver and Brookshaven. And every single morning we have buses that we have called the police because traffic is just flying by the stopped school bus. And so I'm asking that the commission please consider widening that road for these developments that are going in. I have issues with the convenience store and gas station, but that's another hearing. My only consideration for tonight, please consider that that's got to be widened because we're going to have a lot of traffic issues in that area. Thank you.
Does anyone else wish to address this?
That's the other. Yeah. I'm Tim Castleberry, 53 Brookshaven Road, just a little bit down from Kelly and across the street from Tom.
What she talked about was the school bus trying to make a turn going from Route 12 down onto Culver. If there are two cars in that lane, because there's a left turn lane and a right turn lane, if there's two cars there, the bus cannot make that turn. It just is impossible. I mean, and I think, you guys need to take a ride up there and look at that, because it just doesn't, I have a small RV. I can't make that turn. If there's a vehicle in that left turn lane, we're blocking traffic. And as they said, if those lights go on, people just go right by. It needs to be addressed, because there are going to be other businesses that are going to be building there, and with access to Culvert, access from Route 1, it needs to be looked at. It needs to be looked at large. The influx of the businesses that are going to be facing off of Route 1, or the proposed Starbucks or coffee shop, and the medical facilities building. Medical facilities building is going to be simple. It's going to be a short period of time relative. The coffee shop is going to be probably closer to 18 hours a day, which I don't know about you guys, but that provides a lot of traffic. It provides a lot of noise, and we've got nip bottles already all over the place. We don't need it anymore.
Does anyone else wish to address this?
Good evening, Thor Holt. I'm an attorney in New London, and I represent the neighbor Nick Saheen and Seven Saheen, who own 334 Long Hill Road. We're in support of this application, provided that we can coordinate with the owner and the developer. The only comment which we've resolved before this meeting, which we had a discussion with the applicant outside in the hallway, is that the application meet the requirements of 8.1-6.c, which are the buffering requirements. On the north side, which is right there where the stacking will end and the window, the serving window will be located, that is directly opposite what will be a multi-unit residential structure on the Saheen property in the near future. So we're just asking that the approval be conditioned on screening that complies with 8.1 in that area. Thank you. Otherwise, we're in support of it.
Is any,
You can build anything you want there. It's.
would you say your name and address?
My name is George Lynch. I live next to her, next to him, across from him. The,
Address, please.
Would you give us the address?
do what?
Address, your address.
43 Brookshaven. Okay. Now, the only thing I'm concerned with is, along with what Tim is talking, and so is Kelly, and is that when that school bus tries to make a turn or comes down Route 12 going down towards Groton, and they put those flashing lights on, their cars are supposed to stop. Okay? Now, add that traffic to when the fire alarm goes off and a fire truck comes out of that building and everything stops. Take that into consideration also. I don't think you're doing it.
Anyone else wish to address this tonight? Yeah.
I mean, no,
Any additions?
no, we don't have anything yet. The only thing I want to point out is, and I don't know about the conversation which happened before, but section, I know we're talking about the drive-through, so maybe this should come up with a site plan rather than now. So I'll wait till that. Yeah.
Site plan.
Yep.
Hmm?
Yeah,
So
wait till the
we're
site plan.
addressing is,
Yep, agree.
is the drive, whether a drive-through is. So open it up to the commission to.
Question for staff, which you might have, I doubt you have the answer to, but must be asked, is that for the for the numbers of trips, so in terms of any regulations that we have, since this appears to triple the amount of traffic and extend the duration that we now have, do we have anything that addresses that?
I did look at that before. I'd have to find the section, but nothing specific,
okay.
you know, in terms of.
Okay. Because I do notice that trying to focus just on whether or not it can have a driveway and not this particular configuration, which I will have a great deal of other comments, but just the whether or not has to do with whether or not this property can handle all of its loading from that one point, which is the intersection of an adjacent neighborhood, which was probably just tolerable when you have something like an Applebee's intended to be a neighborhood restaurant, not open too late, not open too early. And this completely does change the nature of it. So we're not talking about the restaurant, we're talking about having the drive-through. And having the drive-through therefore have a tripling of the amount of traffic at the entrance to a fairly extensive residential area, I have a problem with. If it kept it about the same, I certainly, so the nature of a drive-through itself, not a problem. But in this case, if the drive-through then adds a tripling of traffic at that location, then it does not seem to meet the idea of a local advantage to the neighborhood.
You think this traffic study we have provided to us is inadequate?
I think, well, that says right here, that the traffic study says that it's fine for the roads, it's fine for drivers. But it's telling me that it's gross trips goes up to 1,628. I had to look for that too. I'm glad it was brought up. It's a tripling. So that's fine for the road. Route 12 can handle that. And that's all it addresses. It addresses, will it be a problem for Route 12 or that traffic light? The answer is probably not. It's fine for the traffic light. It's fine for Route 12. Is it fine for the neighborhood that this parcel is supposed to have some addressing of, being that zone is supposed to be something local? And the answer is, in this case, no. If the driveway actually the access came from the front on Route 12, there would be no question. This would be fine. I have no objection. In this case, adding the driveway, its access is from the intersection near the back of the property, not onto Route 12. And that is the problem for the driveway.
So you're saying that it affects, it's addressing Route 12 and not.
That's all this.
Route
Route 1, I'm sorry, Route 1.
Route 1.
Route 1, yeah.
And not Culvert.
That's correct.
And
It tremendously affects Culvert. Now, can it handle that traffic? I suppose so. But we're not just talking about cars here. We're talking about what does that do to the adjacent neighborhood? And the zone is supposed to take that into consideration. So in concept, because of that, the drive-through I have a problem with that.
anything else?
No.
Mike, do you?
I would tend to agree with Hal. I think that if the drive-through were at the medical facility, so that it would accommodate ADA or, people with children or something like that, just a limited number of cars so that people could use it. But I think that also tripling, the CN zone was designed. If Hank Steinford were here, he'd be to tell us all about it, because he was very familiar with it and adamant that it would be, that's what these businesses were supposed to be, were businesses that were low impact on residential neighborhoods, that side of the road. So for that reason, I, certainly don't have any problem with drive-throughs, anywhere else, but that's what it is here. So I would tend to think that it would be a problem.
Steve?
I have to agree with Hal and Mike on this, that there's certain things, we used to have level of service. I didn't see that in the traffic study. Was it there? Did I miss it? The level of service, and I'm sure that.
But that again, only, that
Yes.
pertains to the roads and whether the roads
Right.
have capacity
The number.
to handle the traffic.
Say that again.
Sorry. Yeah. Level of service pertains to the roads and whether the roads can handle the traffic. It doesn't address impact on neighborhoods, as Hal mentioned.
No, I was,
But yeah,
I am referring to there used to be, how
I-
much time you spent at a light.
Right,
you know,
right,
how
right.
How many lights do you have to wait for before you get through? And I have a feeling that at peak times, you're gonna stack up against that light.
Mhm.
And, I couldn't. I don't know if this is different from previous traffic studies that we've seen. And, it just. I can just envision that during peak times that there's gonna be a stack up. Where people maybe won't be able to get through for one or two lights and that's, definitely impacting people that are trying to get to school, trying to get to, trying to get to work. The zone itself, it is supposed to be a transition zone. This does not sound. And I remember in previous vacations and stuff that I've taken, they would purposely restrict drive-throughs for that very reason, because they didn't want that high traffic aspect of it, and it would keep out, a certain number of cars, and that's just the way it is. I did have a question just on the one map there. You had two arrows in the road that's facing Route 1. This right there.
These arrows here?
That's not two-way, is it?
Yeah, this is two-way. It's two-way traffic. Because the spaces are 90 degrees. So
Yeah.
you can go this way to park. And you get the drive-through lane and the bypass has a stop sign with a stop bar to exit out onto Culver Avenue.
I believe that's a site plan issue though.
That's a site plan, yeah. You're talking about those arrows.
Yeah, just a question. All right, thank you. Yep, that's all. Yeah, that's all I have.
Kevin,
Sure. So first specific to this application. I agree that it does comply with section 5.1.c, right? The drive-through regulations. But the second part of that is, as you know, section 9.4-6, where it says the essential characteristics of the area does not cause traffic congestion or safety conflicts. But if I go to the traffic, the site traffic generation, it appears that is geared toward Route 1, not Culver Ave. So similar to, I believe, what you all said is, if it was coming out onto Route 1, I'm fine with it. Coming out onto Culver Ave, I think there's a conflict there, frankly, because the site generation does not talk about, to me, it doesn't talk about Culver Ave. So that's my issue, is that I don't think we've adequately, for this portion of it, have addressed the traffic congestion or safety conflicts on Culver. That's all.
mm,
And subsequently Brookshaven.
Hmm.
And subsequently Brookshaven.
okay. I had one concern with this traffic back stacking here. How long does it take to process an order for a coffee at Starbucks? Because you read things about fancy coffees that take minutes to prepare. And what happens if somebody comes in and wants one of those complex coffees? What does it do? How long does it take to make it? How does it affect how many cars are gonna be in that line?
I haven't disclosed who the tenant is, so
Well,
it's,
okay.
you're assuming that it's gonna be a Starbucks.
No, but it makes a difference is it that type of a coffee shop or is
It's
it just?
not something that we
a
have
Dunkin'
disclosed.
Donuts type?
No, it's if there's an order that is, taking longer than needed, we have plenty of parking spaces to have a customer pull into a space so that they can actually bring just like they would at any type of restaurant. If you're going to McDonald's and you order something and it's not taking long, they'll have you pull over, put it in a parking spot so it doesn't hold up the queuing of the drive-through.
Mhm.
That's how they would operate,
That's
like
how they
any
operate.
type
Yes.
would operate.
And looking at that traffic study, it looked like
Yes.
we had 2 cars per minute going in and out.
The traffic study, it's actually not a traffic.
To read, interpret.
Yeah, it's a traffic memorandum. And table 1 of that traffic memorandum that we provided provides table 1, which is the trip generation. For daily trips for the medical office, it's 80. For the coffee shop, it's 1548. And then the gross trips is 1688. And then less the coffee bypass, the net new trips from this development would be 814 for daily. The AM peak hour would be 129 new trips. The PM peak hour would be 61 trips, and then the Saturday peak hour would be 131 new trips.
But if you look at
And the restaurant was at 536 daily versus 814. And then the AM peak would be the 129 versus the 48 for the restaurant. And then PM for the restaurant's 45 versus 61. And then the Saturday peak hour for the restaurant's 56 versus 131.
But if you look at the peak hour time, it's down to 30, every 30 seconds, you're getting a car going in and out.
Right. Yep.
Is it really? What is that do? I mean, that's a lot of traffic. So if they're going in and out, they gotta wait at the traffic light. How long does the traffic light?
The traffic light is
How many cars can back up?
yeah, the traffic light has Route 1. It serves 19,700 vehicles.
Leaving.
Right, but the signal is tied to Route 1 and Culver Avenue. And so there's 19,700 vehicles that pass the site on an average day, about 1370 in the peak hour and 1770 during the afternoon peak hour. So this signal is designed to handle that in addition to Culver Avenue that feeds the intersection of Route 1 and Culver Avenue. And just for the record, we provided a traffic memorandum. It's not a traffic study, just so that the commission understands that.
Well, maybe that's really more of a application, the site plan application, but doesn't you all back up the traffic on Culver where you've got cars stacked up?
You have 225 feet from the entrance of Culver Avenue down to the signalized intersection of Route 1 and Culver Avenue, which is plenty of distance for an establishment like this.
So it won't, the traffic light will turn quickly enough to exit. It won't back traffic up beyond your.
It should not, no.
Does anyone have any other questions?
You know the timing of the light?
I don't,
That can be adjusted.
but we can get that info.
Well, it can be adjusted.
Yeah, they can adjust the timing too, but
It could be adjusted and it could be on the sensor. In either case,
But
something's got to give.
Yeah, that's a site. plan.
Yeah.
I guess that's my.
I mean, if you get more to Culver, you're taking away from Route 1.
Right,
You know, it's
exactly right.
one or the other.
yeah.
I guess that's more of a site. plan.
That's the detail for the site plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all we're talking about is.
There's the
We have
capacity,
advised-
so.
But the applicant thinks that we have enough stack up in the
Yes,
here.
yes.
And if they're too long, or the wait is too long, they'll just park them.
Well, you're talking about two different stack ups. One is on Culver.
No, color on the.
On
So on the property
side.
side, well, that's like any burger joint. So yeah, sure.
But it would be.
That's on their property. That's okay.
As long as there's no parking place.
Well, if you take a look at
Maybe
all
it's
the
not-
other burger joints, they all have places where you can pull forward
Oh, right, yeah.
and multiple places to do so, and they do. And then someone running out with their food, so that's the way this would have to work too. And that's actually fine for the way that's set up. That doesn't have anything to do with the
'Cause I don't-
driveway
I
itself.
don't use that.
That in fact is a site plan issue, not
Yeah. it's like-
not whether or not it's the driveways there.
So are there any other questions that we need to have answered on this question?
I don't
This
believe so.
special permit.
Unless they want to respond to what you hear us say.
What was the question?
Well, yeah, you may want to respond to some of it.
Well, you heard our trepidation on this. I just want you to talk about that.
On the what, the stacking of the cars or?
No, on the extra traffic that's going into right by an entrance to a residential area. Unlike every other drive-through that enters right off of Route 1.
Mhm.
In this case, you're trapped by having the entrance at a place that is sensitive, and that we all have a problem with that.
Right. I mean, it is, the trips are increasing from this development. But the signal is gonna be the way to control the stacking and the widening of Culver Avenue. I understand what they're talking about. The public is
That's a
talking
sep-
about,
That's a separate.
but that's a separate issue, but your issue
It's a
of,
special permit.
right, right,
For the drive-through.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah, so for
Not
the
a
special
separate-
permit for the drive-through, the timing would have to be adjusted if this were to be an issue, but we don't.
But
anticipate-
special part of the drive-through understand is whether or not a drive-through is permissible in this zone at that place.
Right,
So the specifics don't really matter. It's
right,
just in general. And that's what we're kind of having a problem.
understood.
What so the drive-through, does that really add any additional traffic to the business?
Yeah.
Or is it just a matter of how is it served?
Well, it's a service,
it
right? It's a
served?
service for convenience.
Yes. But it may
Sure,
not.
surely. If it wasn't there, their capacity would drop dramatically.
Correct.
Agreed.
But that is not in any of the statistics we have.
No.
Correct.
So I was gonna say, one option is whether or not to, basically,
Just looking at closing the public.
yeah, I was gonna say if
We don't have any additional information.
right, I was gonna say if you want them to come back with some more traffic information, we can continue the public hearing to next time and ask them to get that information to address the questions that you have, if you feel that that's an alternative or an option.
Well, it's just, well, the drive-through lane, yeah. It's.
Yep. Yep.
Hmm?
I think they gave us numbers, and unless we want them to talk us out of the numbers that they have, then I don't think we need more information.
I don't-
Right,
hmm?
okay.
No.
Got it.
Hmm?
Right, so.
Hmm?
And the one other piece too, and this is kind of a crossover between the two, it was brought up that, it would be much easier if they just exited Route 1. If you, or if some of you may remember, as part of the subdivision for Tallwoods, there were no more exits or entrances on Route 1. So that's why they have to use the culvert. So,
I'm not going to understand that.
Yeah.
fully. The site doesn't lend itself to it because of the grades.
in the grade
It's
too,
just one
absolutely.
It's one of the limitations of the site. That's why you end up
Oh, it
with
really makes sense.
medical office there. or
To
something like
reduce
that.
the number of entrances on. the
Right,
road.
exactly. Yeah.
Hmm?
Yes.
You know, But that has nothing to do with.
No, I agree.
drive-through.
I'm just saying it was asked before if the
Oh.
drive-through was there and you could exit straight off of
Oh.
Route 1. So that's why I was clarifying that.
Yeah. I was just, for the record, I just was comparing it
Okay.
to other.
All right.
places that
No
were-
problem.
Not suggesting.
So does the applicant have any reason to hold the public hearing open?
Guess not.
I guess not.
I mean, if we can provide more data on the traffic component with with an official traffic study, But at this point, we've provided a traffic memorandum that does show what those trips on the ITE will be generated.
So does anyone need more information? If not, then I would make a motion then to close. Does the public have any?
Needs anything, yeah.
Can we, since he's both next week again?
Oh, yes, you can speak again if you had.
Tom Farrell, 34 Brookshaven Road. I have a problem with the math with this traffic study. They do the 50% passerby because that's allowed in the state. That's saying 50% of the traffic that goes by is okay. What he's not talking about is it's coming in to Culver and going into the facility. So that's why I call it magic math. It's 800 in and 800 out. You don't really get a chance to subtract that 50% passerby. That's dedicated to Route 1. You bring up a good point. This is about Culver and how much traffic is coming in on Culver. So there will be, according to their study, 800 in, 800 out. And that's not with the cut in. That's not part of the study to draw the traffic in from the resident, whatever's going to be, it used to be an apartment building was proposed there. That's not including that information either, which will go in and out Culver. So the passerby thing is kind of shady. So I just wanted to make that point. And maybe if you don't want to say that it is a Starbucks, maybe you want to hide that for some reason, don't put it on your plan when you tell it to match the colors of Starbucks.
Just one more comment. Kelly Milton, 35 Brookshaven Road. The entrance to all of this is immediately across where Brookshaven Road is. And what I saw, I've lived in that house for 34 years. What I saw when Applebee's was built, for the first month or two that they opened, they had their grand opening. We had twice as much traffic as was projected. Just putting that out there. And what happened, all of the staff were not able to park in Applebee's parking lot. So they came in and parked on Brookshaven Road. I kept calling the police. I kept calling the manager of Applebee's to get them to have their staff move their vehicles off from my lawn. And I had, and I think that would happen again. If they have a grand opening, that's what's going to happen. These folks are going to go in to try to get out of the line. They're going to do a circle around Brookshaven or they're going to go straight down to Tallwoods and use that cul-de-sac as well. No one mentioned that there is condos beneath Brookshaven Road. And there's those folks, there's 75 condos down there. Those folks have to go to work and have appointments too, and they're not represented here tonight. So just bringing that up as additional residential people that need to be considered. Thank you.
All we're really talking about is just the drive-through. Not the other is a site plan.
Okay, thank you.
One more separate issue. Yes.
Again, Tim Castleberry, 53 Brookshaven. If you guys haven't done it, please take a ride up there. Okay, just during the course of the day, at some point in time, look with that in mind of making that turn, where those roads are, where that entrance to Applebee's is, where the entrance to Brookshaven is. Okay, go down to the end of it. Look where Tallwoods is. Look at the condos down there. Look at all the traffic that's generated from down there that comes up. It's sporadic. Yes, it is. The credit union, that Scient credit union that's down in there, that's sporadic traffic too. However, when you go back up to the light, time it. Time the light. It's a demand light. See how long it takes you. Keep in mind that you've got probably 30 or 40 people that are going to a coffee shop to be named later that are going to be behind you or in front of you. Think about that before you make your decision. Thank you.
Are there any other comments? That's all we're talking about now is really the ability to have a drive-through, not the site plan. Separate issue. If we have no other information we feel we need, we can close the public hearing. Or the the drive-through.
Accessory drive-through.
That's the drive. So I'll make a motion then to close the public hearing for special permit 24003 accessory drive-through facility.
Second,
Moved in second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, then we'll vote on the motion for the special permit. All those in favor, closing the public hearing. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion is carried unanimously. Okay, next we have consideration of public hearings. First one is the zoning regulation change 240002 group childcare home and the noise regulation. Does staff have any additional?
I don't,
Okay.
other than what we discussed during the public hearing.
Right.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything else. A draft motion was distributed earlier
We
today,
have that, yes.
which outlines reasons for approving and sets an effective date of July 15th.
July. Does anyone on the commission have any additional issues on this proposed change or changes?
We do not.
no,
Okay, and I assume everybody's seen the proposed motion?
Mhm.
Yes. Does anybody have concerns with that? As written?
Does anyone need a paper copy?
No. Everybody has.
we all have.
I know,
Computer.
I know.
We all like doing this.
Saving paper.
Good, glad to hear it. I only had one, so you had to share.
Okay, so I'll make a motion for regular 240002 group child care home and noise. Motion to approve zoning regulation text amendment, regular 24002 to 1, amend section 5.1-4.c group child care home to allow this use in residential dwellings without conditions. 2, amend section 7.4-3.1 noise to be consistent with Connecticut state noise standards. The Town of Groton Planning and Zoning Commission adopts zoning regulation text amendment regular 240002 pursuant to the following findings and reasons for approval. 1, this zoning text amendment is consistent with the town's 2016 Plan of Conservation and Development with particular regards to recommendations regarding the redevelopment of neighborhood and community-based services in businesses and the need to continually review and modify development standards. 2, this amendment is consistent with Public Act 23-142. 3, this amendment is consistent with the town's municipal coastal program and CGS sections 22A-90 through 22A-111. 4, this amendment is made in accordance with a comprehensive plan for the town of Groton and provides for reasonable consideration of the environment and Long Island Sound in accordance with the provisions of CGS 8-2. This amendment shall become effective July 15th, 2024. Is there a second?
Second.
It's moved and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? There are none. We'll vote on the motion for regular 240002. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion is carried unanimously. Okay, next we have the special permit 24003 accessory drive-through facility for proposed restaurant 350 Long Hill Road. There's a proposed motion that we've received. Oops. Has the applicant seen this? Do you have any concerns? Does anyone on the commission have any concerns with the motion?
Not with the motion, but
Right. Well, the way the motions, yeah.
the way it's written.
Not the way it's written.
Hmm?
Certainly not the way it's written.
Well, do you think it should be changed? I mean, we have, if
We can,
if we're gonna, we can revise it
we
or
revise-
rewrite it, but we.
Revise it to the negative?
disagree with it, then we should just leave it as is.
Yeah.
we can leave it as is and
That's-
just
yeah,
say
that's
no,
the easiest way.
as opposed to revise the whole thing to say
No,
yes.
no, I don't think we should.
Yeah, no, because then we'd have to get,
Hmm?
Right. So let's say go with
We're
this.
not tweaking it.
Just
So I'll make the motion for a special permit 00 or 240003 accessory drive facility for proposed restaurant on 350 Long Hill Road. Make motion to approve special permit 240003 commercial redevelopment 350 Long Hill Road to allow for an accessory drive-through facility for a proposed restaurant located in the CN zone. Findings and reasons for approval. The commission finds that this application as conditioned complies with zoning regulation section 5.1-1.c drive-through facilities. The commission also finds that this application complies with the special permit criteria in section 9.4-6 of the zoning regulations, and that it does not alter the essential characteristics of the area, does not cause traffic congestion or safety conflicts, and does not conflict with the purposes of these regulations. Is there a second?
I'll second it for.
discussion.
For discussion.
Yeah.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. Does the commission members have
No further
any
discussion.
further discussion on this?
Great, no,
Hmm?
I do not.
I do not.
No one has the further discussion. Hmm?
No.
I mean, opposed, you're opposed to it.
Yeah.
No, I mean statewide, or do you just think we just want to?
I believe that all of these things are on, actually, just so we're clear, regulate section 5.1(1)(c), which one is that? What does that say?
For drive-through regulations?
That's
Yeah.
what you drive.
Let's make sure
through.
we're,
Yeah, it's the conditions for it.
okay. All right. Just want to make sure.
Well, want
We're-
to read it?
Yeah, that's
You wanna read it?
specifically for.
Just-
Want me to read the whole thing? Sure thing. All right, so section 5.1-1-.c, drive-through facilities, special permit required in certain districts, see details below. Drive-through facilities are permitted accessory uses subject to the following conditions. Number one, location on site. Drive-through facilities, including required stacking lanes, must be located in the rear or side yards only. Two, curb cuts. Drive-through facilities must not generate the need for an additional driveway curb cut. Three, special permits. Special permit is required for the following types of drive-through facilities in the following zoning districts. A, restaurants, zone CN, CR, and MTC. B, services, not applicable. C, retail, zone MTC. Number four, minimum lot size. A, restaurants, 20,000 square feet. B, services, not applicable. C, retail, not applicable. Number five, stacking spaces. A, restaurants. For fast food restaurants or any window designed for pickup of readily consumable food or beverage, a minimum of 10 stacking spaces entering and 1 stacking space exiting must be provided for each drive-through window, including the vehicle being serviced. Where an order board and pickup window are involved at such an establishment, a minimum of 5 stacking spaces should be provided before the order board. B, services. For banks, a minimum of 5. Do you want me to read that part too? Okay, I'll skip that part. So this is a lot more for that. Number 6, size. Stacking lanes must be a minimum of 10 feet wide and each space shown must be 20 feet long. Number 7, circulation. Stacking lanes should be separate from internal aisles, which allow traffic to circulate through the site without entering the drive-through facility. Number 8, exiting space. Exiting stacking space must be separate from all other circulation aisles and must be at least 50 feet from the curb line of the street to which they will exit. And number 9, traffic pedestrian circulation. Stacking lanes should be designed and located to minimize traffic congestion and to promote pedestrian safety using pavement markers, signs, and designated walkways.
And my comment on that is that just for the findings and reasons that while we might find that it does comply with zoning regulations 5.1-1.c, it seems to. We do not find the rest of it. So we do not find that it complies with special permit creating criteria in section 9.4-6, et cetera.
That's it.
Yeah, but that's just the reason, but I mean, I can't.
Well, that's
not gonna, yeah, it's not like we have.
Just we have on the
Split the
record what the
thing up.
reason is.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's very useful to have on the record the reasons for your decision.
That's right.
So yes.
Yep, and that was it. Now it is. I'll more specify in that it does seem to alter the essential characteristics of the area. It does cause traffic congestion or safety conflicts and does conflict with the purposes of these regulations.
That would be precise. Right.
Does anyone else have any? I think that's sort of summarized.
Yeah.
Or we meet the technical definitions. Location. So we'll vote on then the draft on the motion for special permit 24003. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay.
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 Any abstentions? So I guess it's unanimous decision.
Okay. Thank you.
Moving on then to
I have a question.
yes.
Just, are we going to give the opportunity, right? According to this, we're now going to also talk about the site plan.
Yeah.
Do we want to give them the opportunity
I think it
to
becomes-
pull that for
No, I
now?
have-
or-
I think, yes, I
Yeah.
think that's,
We can.
the site plan certainly does not reflect your most recent decision in the site plan.
Well,
Does
we
have to
still
be
have to
consistent with it.
Okay.
State that, I think. when get
And we
it on
can
the
do that.
agenda.
That's right. So you want to give them the opportunity to
We have
revise
to.
the site plan, you know,
Right.
based on your decision.
Yeah. No, we have.
Right. Right, when we get there.
Have to take some action on the site plan.
Oh, right,
application
okay.
Later on. That's the next.
When we get there.
item.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
in
you
the
don't have to
order
take action tonight, but we'll talk about it when you get there.
When we get there. So the next item is approval of the minutes, previous meetings. We have, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the minutes of May 28th.
So moved?
Is there a second?
Second.
Does anyone have any corrections to the minutes?
You're right.
Right. I have two. One, on page 2, on section 9.1, on the third paragraph. the second section says they agreed. I think you gotta say.
Oh, yes,
who's
absolutely,
they.
yes.
I
Yep.
think you ought to, it should be the
The commission.
commission. Agreed. Hmm?
Yep.
And on paragraph 6, it talks about commission and staff discussed how mobile or manufacturing housing may be fit specific housing needs. We didn't address any action for this, either postpone it or state its medium later, or could you look at the, or listen to the tape? Because we should have some action
You should, no, it's true.
on that.
Okay.
And I thought we.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Hmm?
Yeah,
But I don't want
Okay.
to state what it was, because I don't.
okay. Yeah, I don't
thought we
remember.
started-
I think you did too.
Something to either get more information or.
You know what? I think that's exactly what it was, that you wanted more information from Bryce. That's
More
right. That's
detail,
right.
more
Before determining what level this is.
Yes.
We'll put that in there. Okay.
That's all I have to. Does anyone have any other corrections to the minutes? So then we'll vote then on the motion, to approve the minutes. May 4th of, May 28th as amended. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion is carried unanimously. Okay. Then moving on to public communications. Does anyone on the commission have any communications?
I do not.
Staff?
No.
Have anything? Did receive stuff, but it was on.
It was all part of the hearings.
Part of it.
That's right.
Okay, does anyone in the commission wish to address, or anyone in the public wish to address the commission? On any items? Okay. Hmm?
Quiet on the board.
All right, next item is subdivisions, Colonel Ledger Estates.
Mhm. So, the update was included in your packet. There's just a couple of things I want to highlight. Work on Imogen Drive is supposed to begin this week. That includes installing some, sidewalks and driveway aprons. The folks down on the cul-de-sac have been experiencing some flooding when it rains, and so this should alleviate that. With regards to required street trees along the street, there are, I believe, 2 homeowners at this point who do have landscaped their yards and do not want the additional trees. So we're going to find another spot on the road to install them. Yeah, exactly. The plans for the recreation area, there's a small playscape, and because of the topography, there's a need for a small wall that is currently being designed before any further work is done. Then there's, additional work being done on there's one particular street light that they're having a hard time getting the light on, but I think they've started to make progress with electricians and with Eversource.
But overall, I read it, that they're making progress.
It's not as much as we would like.
That's
But yes, I mean, not included in that sheet that you got. I get email updates probably once a week from the contractors who are out there just letting me know where they're at with things. So,
You're like the sub-project manager now. Right,
So.
but the progress is there, it just doesn't seem, the urgency may be for us. It doesn't appear as vibrant as we asked, but.
right, you're right.
Well, I'm not,
Yeah.
It's more.
Right.
Difficult. And does the town owe anything on these items? I don't think so.
No, I mean, at this point, we're waiting for the design for the rec area.
Mhm.
And we've told them the work on Colonel Ledger Highway is low priority at this point, and they really should concentrate on the work that impacts the neighbors who are living there.
So did you give this to the Board of Ed to show cursive writing?
I did not.
That's not-
You can scan it.
Oh, but that's why.
I know,
Discontinued, so.
I know.
Huh? Really, when you get
Mhm.
to it. The 3 Rs are important. Then site plans, SIT 24008, commercial redevelopment.
So.
Yes, our action
Is to, I'd say at this point, to continue to next times. Yeah, because basically they have to remove the sort of drive through from the site plan. So those plans there are not valid until
well,
they
it's up
remove.
to them to either.
Exactly, if they decide to do that.
To withdraw it.
Yep.
Or.
Or
They
revise
still
it.
have
Yep.
time.
Yep.
That's right, they have time.
And they haven't used any extensions either. So
Right,
there's-
exactly.
yeah, there's still plenty of time.
So we don't have to.
No action.
We're
No
just-
action, yeah.
No action. We don't have to take action other than.
No.
Well, I mean, somebody has to notify them
Oh, yeah.
that what we expect.
Yes.
Oh, that's
That's me.
Dave's job.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's, yeah, we'll have a discussion about that. Yes, absolutely. Yes,
So staff will notify.
yes.
The applicant.
Yep.
All right, all business, no applications.
We have one new application, WNT. It's a former 99 restaurant. A new restaurant. They're gonna put on a small addition in the patio and
Applebee's.
it is not Applebee's.
No, it's 99.
No.
Across the road.
No,
on
what
the other
was
side of the road.
It's the former 99 restaurant,
Oh,
right, which has
Still going
closed.
to be
That's good.
what was advertised?
Yes,
What do you do?
Well, some advertisements actually, so a lot of news items coming out about what it was going to be. It's all-
wood and tap.
Wood-
That's why it's WNT. as you
Oh,
can see,
that's why it's
right,
that.
yeah,
Oh,
that's right,
that's-
that's
It
right.
should be a nice addition.
Was,
That's
when
right.
that was done, 99, there was some sidewalk
Yes,
trading or
Yes.
something. What did we do?
good job.
I remember a lot of things. Did they? Is
They,
that-
they built the sidewalk on the other side of Route
Oh,
1,
okay,
is
that's
what
right.
they
Yeah, no,
did.
that didn't make sense to put it on the.
right? Yeah, very tricky
Okay,
topography
so
there.
then that's already done.
And I'm sure that's what they will say.
Okay.
Well, the restaurant was.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I
Right.
just,
That's
Well,
right.
and there's still sidewalk down Kings Highway. and there's-
yeah,
Yep.
no, you get around a nice, I mean,
Yep.
that's the good connection.
Mhm.
Okay,
We,
that's it.
we would just see it for the site plan then?
That's correct.
Right,
No,
this is just.
No drive.
No drive-through, that is correct.
Right.
No special
Development, not
permit, it will
residential.
be a site
Well,
plan.
it's not in. it's
That would've
not a
been-
CN.
It could have been okay, but it's just.
Yep.
What is that zoning?
That's not a CN.
What is?
Just
the-
overall, it's
I think it's CR.
Yeah,
It's red. Yeah, it's CR.
Okay.
Commercial, but regional.
because it was really an extension because all the housing on the CN.
Yep. CR?
Yes.
There you go,
Yeah,
right there.
thank you.
Because that's more of a commercial.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you had a
Yep.
car dealership on the other side.
Right, exactly. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Right, and then for referrals, we have 15 Gravel Street variance.
Right, so this is a setback variance, and also a variance in the requirement that an accessory dwelling unit be in a conforming structure. So this is an existing garage. It's currently non-conforming. They are going to raise the roof a bit to put an ADU on the second floor, and they need both of these variances in order to do that.
But the non-conformance is really setbacks.
It's setback, and there's a regulation that says ADUs can only be in
Oh, no.
conforming structures. So they're asking for a variance of both of those to cover it.
It gets confusing when you, because
It-
they were
yes, it
talking
is.
about new building,
Mhm.
and I wouldn't consider this a new building.
No,
It's
they're-
altered building.
True.
Hmm?
Mhm.
But does anyone on the commission have any concerns?
No.
with this? But the 14 feet thing was not a, it's, it
Right.
was just a way of getting out of something. that it didn't get them out,
Mhm,
even if it was less than.
mhm.
Okay, then we have town council referral for Groton Heights request for proposal.
Oh,
I don't know what we would, what we're supposed, oh, yes.
So,
We're on
so
chapter.
let me give you a little bit of background before I totally agree with what you're saying.
No, but
um,
we're for, yeah.
So, so this is a request for proposal for the Groton Heights School over in the city, all right? The commission looked at an 824 referral back in 2020 and recommended that it be sold. And then the RFPs went out, and you probably all know that there was a selected developer, but that fell through. And now the town council has a new adopted policy to dispose of town property, excess property, and they're using that to sort of start this process over again. So I included that policy, the 3-page policy in your packet, as well as the draft RFP. So you're right. On page 2 in the packet, page 2 in the policy, it only says it will be referred to the Planning and Zoning Commission for comment. Period. Not whether it's consistent with the POCD. You already did that with the 824 referral. So this one's in the city, right? You know, if you have some comments on the RFP, that's fine. You will be getting ones for properties within the town where you will have the authority to do site plan approval on them. And when we get to those, I think we need to be very, very careful about what all comments you make. You know, in terms of, you don't want to prejudice yourselves about, say, well, I don't think apartments are suitable here, you know. You need to be very careful about the town ones. The Groton Heights,
Well, it's different.
It's fine.
Different because you're doing it as an 824.
but that's not what this is.
But
It's
that's not what this.
they're
Because it's
asking for
already-
comment.
I had one comment
Okay.
that the attorneys probably won't like it. But no, because in the request for proposal, and I don't care whether this is official or not. There's nothing in there that says that what is allowable by zoning in the city. And I think it could be misleading to an applicant. And it ought to state that, you know,
I-
these suggestions as to what to build.
So I
could be
think they
useful.
reference the zone, but they also reference the section in the city regulations that allow historic reuse of buildings, which is pretty wide
Well,
open.
as long as it.
Yeah, it's really wide
Because
open.
when I read it, I
Yep.
thought there was nothing in there that says what you can do with the building.
And
Maybe I didn't, maybe I missed it.
yeah,
I don't care whether that's in
okay.
to the minutes, but
Okay, no, that's fine. I mean, the manager's not looking for comment until July, so. I mean, you can certainly, if you've got comments now, that's great, and if you wanna,
well, I don't think we have the right to comment on it.
Well, that's my
Different
point.
ways.
That's my point. So the point is, whatever happens at Groton Heights should not set a precedent for where we have full involvement. Yes, that's my, point,
yeah.
which
That's
allows.
what you were trying to say, Deb?
Yeah, yes, that is what I'm trying to say. I don't want a comment on a town property to have, you know, an applicant say, well, you guys already made up your mind, you know, when they come in to get site plan approval. So, I mean, whatever your comments are with regards to town properties, I think we need to be very careful about wording and the content. But we're not there yet. We're dealing with a city property.
Warn us again.
Oh, I will.
So,
I will, no, because Pleasant Valley, I think at some point, you know, sometime this year at least, will get referred to you. That is in the town, and they'll be asking for proposals. So, I mean, I just don't want you all to be saying, well, the proposals really should be limited to
Well,
new schools or, you know, or something, you don't,
they can only be limited, or what we can do is only what's allowed by the zoning regulations.
true, but the
Or-
council can say, we
Oh, the
prefer.
council can-
We prefer, you know, these particular uses, and you guys could get into trouble by saying we don't agree with those uses.
No,
So,
I don't
yeah,
think we have the right.
yeah,
Hmm?
yeah.
All we can do is say doesn't meet zoning regulations.
mm,
Hmm? Or we say we can't sell the property because there's this additional or potential use for within that the town should move on to. Or
When
is
we,
there
yeah,
conflict?
Well,
Really,
I mean, you
because
do that
it's a
under the 824.
conflict, yes.
But I think when we get to that, we'll talk about,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll talk about what your concerns are and
Yeah.
what comments you want to send to the council and, you know, it could be just as simple as, you know, we'll review the plan when we get it.
Oh, yeah. it should be.
Or we have no comment, you know.
At this time.
No, exactly. We have no comment on the RFP. Okay,
It's only really the P O C D that
right,
is in an agreement with the P O C D.
Right.
For the intent of the P O C.
Yes. Okay. Well, I mean, that's what the whole document is. It's not.
so, oops, sorry. So, okay, so let's get back to Groton Heights. There are, you know, it's pretty boilerplate until you get to like, you know, the pages with the yellow, right? There's some, it looks like the council is suggesting, you know, if housing is a proposal, they want a certain amount of affordable housing. They also want whoever makes a proposal to give really strong consideration to keeping the building and the facade of the building. They want to retain significant trees. I mean, that's pretty much the bulk of the stuff that they're putting out there that they want to see in a proposal. You know, I don't know if you have any comment on those things.
So I do.
Okay,
So specific to inclusionary zone, right? Were they more precise what they said regarding affordable housing? Did they give more guidance, or was it kind of a macro type idea that said, love to see affordable housing?
that's,
Because to my knowledge, we don't have any IZ within the town of Groton, please, correct?
that's correct. That's correct. And we don't have any state requirements because we have enough affordable housing according to, you know, the state standards.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, they're including things like, including housing as. Okay, there's something wrong with the sentence, but including housing in a proposal is not a requirement. But any proposal that includes housing should include no less than 10% of the units as affordable housing. I mean, that's what the guidance they're giving someone who might,
They repeat that in the benefit.
they do. Yes,
Yeah.
they do. Yep.
So what I didn't do in my mind, because I don't have the knowledge, is are there percentages in IZ that mirror why they asked for 10%?
No, it's just a number. I think they had a good deal of discussion as to what that percentage should be. Should it be 20? Should it be 10? You know,
But
if
no
it's
state law, right?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, but since they're the sellers, you know, they can dictate what they want.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So to give you back comments, are we gonna have a separate document that we edit, right? Or are you asking us prior to the next meeting for us to give you comments directly, Deb?
Sure, if you want to do that. I mean, again, the town manager doesn't expect them until after the July meeting, so you've got some time.
Okay.
Unless you're all comfortable saying we have no comments.
Well, I don't
You
know.
know.
Comment, I mean, we should be commenting as a commission and not as individuals.
Right,
Well, what is the city zoning doing?
Yeah,
with regard to this?
that's why I
So-
thought it should be referenced.
I mean, the town's policy for town property says it gets referred to the town planning commission.
Yeah.
I mean, the city, obviously, if there's a change of use over there, they'll have the authority to approve it, modify it, deny it.
Well, that's why I thought it should be indicated in the proposal that it has to comply with the city zoning regulations.
But I mean, there's also the possibility that, you know, a preferred developer would have just a wonderful vision, but I've got to go change the zoning regulations.
That's fine.
I mean, right? That's
That's
so,
fine.
yeah.
No,
But
just as an awareness, not as something to do, just to make sure we're not sucking somebody in to go spend a lot of time developing something that
Right,
isn't allowable
right.
by the city.
Yeah, I mean, I would think anyone who's doing a serious proposal would certainly explore that, but
Yeah, but
But sure.
people get confused between the city and
Mhm.
I think.
Yep, that is true.
No, I'm sorry.
That's true.
Right, someone could ask, why are these guys commenting on what is a city zoning, right?
They shouldn't. No, they can put their own restrictions on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sure they can.
Yeah.
But
Yes, they
why are
can.
we
You have-
commenting? That's it, Jeff. That's my
Hmm?
point. Why are we trying to?
No,
why-
it should just state in here that, you know, the
They're the.
proposal has to be in compliance with city
I think
zoning
it should.
requirements.
That's right.
That's
what I'm
all,
trying to get to.
that's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so I agree.
And I didn't see that in here.
Yeah.
Hmm?
And that would clarify, in my opinion, if I'm a developer who doesn't understand the nuances of the town of Groton, I think that'd be very precise as far as what they need to
Yes.
understand.
Well, I mean, it has suggestions on what you can do with. the
I don't think it's
property.
precise. Right, as I would like. That's my point.
But more or less to keep the attorneys from not making money. That's
I don't
what I was thinking.
I
about.
wouldn't comment on that one.
No, I mean, suing the town.
No, I get it.
That's what.
Okay.
Hmm.
So a document that is generated as a group from us is really what looking toward following the July meeting.
I don't think it's really a document. I think
No.
it's just comment, you know,
Comments.
yeah.
Comments.
And as simple as Jeff was.
It could
saying,
be just as
Yeah.
simple as
You
that.
wanna-
Yeah.
That's right.
You wanna leave this on the.
No, if
agenda
you're
for our
comfortable
next
with-
Meeting,
Or if you all are
there
comfortable
no-
with that as a comment, that's,
well,
it's up to you.
as a person, I objected to a lot of things in there. I thought they were.
Well, let's give it some more thought then.
No, I don't think we should be doing it. I don't think the commission should be doing it.
So you're saying as a taxpayer, you have some,
Yes.
okay, well, that's fair. So
No,
then
I
we're
just-
okay, right? With
I-
what you said, that is our position. I'm
Yeah.
behind Jeff's position, what's been stated.
But if we want to leave it open to next month, I don't know.
Yeah, if we could,
Yeah,
that would
I-
be.
Okay.
Let's leave it open. I'd like to
We
see
leave
it.
it on the agenda.
I mean, there might be
Sounds good.
something that,
Next month.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, read through the policy and
Yeah.
pay attention to page 2. I mean, you're not gonna get a whole lot of guidance out of it, but at least you'll see what they're referencing and why it's coming to you. It's
Okay.
also going to the RTM for comment.
Well, but it's more of an RTM or town council type thing. Hmm?
Let's talk about it next time then, right?
it's everybody.
What
Yeah.
you want it.
No, I meant as far as the commission, I think. Yeah.
Well, if they had gone through the original as proposed
Didn't happen.
system for reuse of property, everybody would have been involved. In fact, we'd have people
Yeah.
sitting around the table talking about it. So this is in lieu of that. There's this step-by-step process.
Yeah. All right. So we'll leave that on.
if we do have comments, do you want
Sure,
us to
that's
just send it
fine.
to?
Yeah, absolutely. And then I can just put it in a packet so everybody can see it
Yeah,
before.
that would be good if
Sure,
you wanna.
yeah.
Yeah. If we do it.
Yeah,
you
if
know,
you've got- yeah, if you
incrementally and so
have
we
any
don't to
thoughts.
Sit here and
Sure.
generally.
Yep.
Or have something, yeah, it's better to have something.
Makes it go faster.
Yep,
Yeah.
it does. Yes, it does.
No, it saves a lot of time, effort. Okay. Nothing else in on new business. Okay, commission reports, report of chair. They signed off the drawings for the pickleball. They went through quickly.
Good job.
And I noticed for the second time that the parking lot is getting awful full. And they may, I don't know,
Well,
but they may have to start using those projected parking pieces.
mhm,
Well, it's pickleball.
Yeah. Yep.
If people say it's so popular.
mhm.
Wait till the Groton saying gets there.
No, but I was, no, I mean, Monday it was.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, and I've never seen that before. I don't know what's going on. I think there was some other thing. going
Maybe.
on. But I was just thinking pickleball is going to have. do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's the if the pickleball and something going on at the senior center happen to correspond, then you'll have the
Well,
problem. Otherwise,
pickleball's
you don't.
gonna be there all the time.
Right.
That's open. Well, maybe we can have sell valet parking in Park Over in the unused school property process.
I don't know if the demographics gonna support that, Jeff.
Is that
I don't think the demographics will support that.
why?
I just don't think it will.
There's a traffic light that allows you to cross the street.
How many cars can you stack at it?
Okay, and I assume that when we get this changes on the 15th of
Yes.
July, we will get reissued version of the zoning
Right,
regulations.
that's right. Yep. And I will too. Mine are out of date as well.
No,
Yeah.
because I don't know if people noticed, but the last time we got a change issued, there was a whole bunch of changes we never received.
Yeah.
Just to be cautious.
Yeah. So you'll get
That,
total,
just so you
total new
know.
regulation.
Shannon made me a whole
Paper.
new book.
Okay, good. That's
Yeah.
always help
Yeah,
every
I
once
know.
in a while.
Seriously, yeah.
Hmm?
Yep.
And
Is that, because we used to always get updates and
I know, and I think because of
the
current
staff.
staff
oh,
turnover,
no, I think
yeah,
there
I think
is,
that's what it is.
but I
yeah.
talked to John Reiner
Yeah,
about
yep.
this. I assume he talked.
Yep,
to him.
yep.
Are you gonna have any inputs on how we can do future changes and know which pages
I
are
know.
affected?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah, I mean, Deb Gillott is working on it, so, yeah.
Because she indicated to me that the system that she has won't allow that.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. The, InDesign is what it's in, the program, yeah,
In design.
InDesign, yeah.
But there's gotta be some way we can figure it out.
Rep control.
Yeah,
Rep control.
no, I know what pages, you got the right pages.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I've been complaining about that for.
No, but it's a serious, I guess it's, to me, it's a serious issue.
Yeah.
Report of commission, does anyone on the commission have anything? to report? Report of staff. Staff, I mean.
So I just have one thing. I'm not going to be at the next meeting. I'm on vacation that week. I know I don't have any projects that will be on there, and I'm not sure that we will have any. So Dave will coordinate with you, Jeff, as to whether or not, we can cancel or
Oh,
whatever.
all right.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, that would be, we only have one meeting in June,
That's right, but that's right.
so you
Yep.
think we can,
Yeah, I know.
but we just said.
The
we're
least
gonna
I mean, my
leave
guess.
it on our agenda for.
Yeah.
For comments in July,
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
so if we don't, we gotta figure out what to do with it.
Right. Right. And I think, yeah, I mean,
Well,
That's
as
fine.
long as I know. I can-
yeah, exactly. That's fine. I mean, if things come up like, bond reductions or,
Oh, no,
things, extensions, I mean, definitely we'll have the
Yeah,
second
that-
meeting in June for sure to
Hmm?
address those
Well, we
things.
can have a special
But-
meeting.
That's exactly right. Yep.
Hmm.
But I won't be at I won't be at the second meeting in June if there is one. So there we go.
All right. All right, and then we have our ASP report and application updates. Any comments? And our code enforcement officer report. Any comments on that? Why did you say how?
Well, it's not a lot of items on there, so
3 items.
fine.
Hmm?
Though for the record, remember is enforcing what I think you came up with, Deb, was for the liquor palace, their
Yeah.
coverage of the window.
Mhm.
We still want to address at some point if surrounding the
Right.
whole window with lighting makes the whole thing a sign, and therefore,
Right.
It's not allowed.
well, if
You
we
have to
if we
have-
agree that's
Oh,
the sign,
you mean the light as a sign?
that makes the whole thing a sign.
But you can't have the whole window with signs in it.
No,
There's
correct.
signs and there's, if the whole window is a sign, and that's what I'm
Yep.
kind of
No,
getting to.
no.
This is just with the signs on the window, making it less transparent, which is what the regulation.
But you can only have 50%.
Right.
Mhm.
Coverage.
That's right.
anyway. Some of these at one time, I don't know about the one we're talking.
It's covered.
Hmm?
It's filled with.
But I think the one on that gas station on, Ledyard. What is it, Ledyard Noy Road. That one.
Oh,
had-
Valero. Yeah,
Valero?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
had more,
Yeah.
that had
That's
the
true.
whole window used to be
Mhm.
Yeah.
covered.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So honestly, for some time, I think they were covering up the idea that they were using the entire space, which they weren't supposed to use
Right.
initially, which none of us had a problem with, so it's kind of tough in between land.
And the floppy signs are still up too.
Including the cigarette one.
Oh,
What, how could it be worse? Or
I know.
if that's a cigarette, excuse me.
I know, that, I know, that was awful.
Okay.
Yep.
Mhm. All right, so no one has anything else, entertain a motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Yeah,
Good.
exactly.
This was a confusing stuff.